In October 28th, we're going to have our key finding launch event where we're going to invite different stakeholders, including Scottish Government, employers, individuals, and especially the community researchers. We want to really honor them. We need to come back to the community researchers because, you know, the way you said that, Dr. T, we've got 15 community researchers. That is something that it's unheard of. Usually when research is carried out, and especially research specific to a community, you can't find the people. Even the different groups that you listed there, usually we can't find them. You know, how do you build relationship with all of these researchers?
Okay. So relationship doesn't just happen overnight. You need to build trust. You need to explain the purpose of the research, make them understand the benefits of the research for the community as a whole. And once you get their buy-in, they are quite happy to go over and beyond. So because I've been very much part of the community, and by the way, was it 2021? Time flies. I got the Glasgow award.
Yes,
for community as well. Thank you. So I know quite a number of people in the communities, and I reach out, and Dr. T is kind of becoming a household name across Scotland.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite difficult recruiting them, telling them this is what we're doing, and this is why we need to get representation from all these groups. So for instance, someone from Somalia would be better able to recruit people from that area.
Yeah.
Someone from Bangladesh, they have lived experiences, and that's why so whilst we're all minoritized, all from minoritized communities under one umbrella, there are differences, and so we felt it was better for us to have people from these communities reach out to their communities as well, and it was incredible. All hands were on deck, and of course I was motivating them, prodding them on, giving them daily updates where you are. A lot of them, honestly, the commitment is quite remarkable. Some of them were attending parties they ordinarily would not attend, attending community meetings they ordinarily, they attend but maybe not regularly, finding out what's happening everywhere, traveling, going to the shops, going to community parties, going to community groups, whatever event was happening in the community. So they were quite right there, embedded in the community. And there's also that ownership, if that makes sense. Basically feeling like they are part of it. All of them asking, oh, when are we going to come for the lunch? It's never been done, really. So this is the power of community, power of community work and power of collaboration. Yeah,
and I think on the 28th, I hope all 15 can make it, even though we'll still want to continue to work with them. But one of the key things with this research is it's a starting point. It's a starting point that us as an organisation, I felt it was important that we invested in this research because no one's going to do it for us. We've been hearing a lot about there's no data. With the bit of funding that we could pull together, we were able to invest in that, and then working with yourself and hearing that the 15 individuals were committed to this, it's key that the community needs more ownership in terms of telling the stories, in terms of sharing the solution, but also being a part of that decision making. What one key action that we want, what's the big ask that we are asking people out there in terms of this research, the decision makers?
Oh, okay. So to kind of understand how to base decisions based on data, if that makes sense. So this is the data, this is what we're finding, and we're going to come up with recommendations as well. So it's one thing to say this is the problem. On the other hand, here is what we think is the solution. And then for policymakers to actually say, okay, these solutions or recommendations, they are workable, viable, feasible, or essentially, okay, maybe something to look at in the medium term or maybe in the longer term, but it's there for them, if that makes sense. And the beauty of this research, while we're looking at employment, it touches on other areas. Like I mentioned, there's mental health, there's education, there's
cost of living.
It touches on quite a lot of outcomes as well. So that's the beauty. So that data can be used. So much can be mined from that data, if that makes sense.
And that's essentially, the umbrella was a visa and that impact of employment, but that feeds in, us as an organisation, we're having to look at poverty and inequalities, but we need data. We keep saying it, obviously data is something that we need, but right now as a community, we're having to invest in ourselves. But Dr. T, tell us a bit more in terms of, so you do research, you know, you're creating all of these, the impact they have with organization. A little bit more about what else do you do? I know you did a monetary evaluation. You're going to school us on monetary evaluation, but give us a little bit behind the scenes of other projects that you worked on.
Okay, we do training as well. And we're trying to create that, make it much more, focus more on corporate organizations. So, and again, all our sessions or training or deliveries, projects, whatever you want to call it, are based on anecdotal evidence, things we hear from people. For instance, the one we're doing on bullying in the workplace is from conversations we've had with people that have experienced bullying in the workplace, or managing or providing feedback, or dealing with narcissistic behavior in the workplace, or managing office politics. So these are the kind of things we're providing now going forward. We do train the trainer sessions where we teach you delegation skills, presentation skills, active listening skills, non-verbal communication. And you can see I communicate verbally and non-verbally as well. Being assertive. So those kind of personal development, really, very soft skills, if that makes sense. And then I've mentioned bid writing, I've mentioned monitoring and evaluation, I've mentioned grant assessments as well. We've had the opportunity to work with several grant-making bodies. And then, I mean, it's incredible being able to feed into decisions, you know, on grants as well. And especially for someone with lived experience of some of the issues that these organizations also seek to address. So it's been basically essential. And again, like I mentioned, we keep adding to our products based on where we find the need. So if we see a need, we want to actually fill that need, ensure that whatever issues that people bring to us are also addressed, all within the boundaries of what we are well equipped to carry out, if that makes sense.
And in a way, that's what worked for us working with you as an organization, is that collaboration of being able to slot in of, you know, Dr. T, I'm doing this work on anti-racism, but I need your support when it comes to that other side of monitoring and evaluation. But building that collaboration, that's really, really important.
And that's the way forward, Viana. Honestly, people working together. As a community, we need to work together, maintaining our lanes, you know, but collaborating. I mean, we all work, you're doing something different. So where do I fit into what you're doing? And where do you fit into what I'm doing? So we need to work together as a community. It doesn't matter who is doing what, but there are areas, because I mean, the needs are intersectional, really. So we need to work together to make sure, I mean, we're achieving a more holistic outcome.
But it elevates us, especially in this Black History Month is all about the future, right? So in terms of the future, we're going to be wrapping up in a minute. I could talk to Dr. T forever. But in terms of the future, with all the work that you're doing, where do you see us as people, as community? What are you seeing in the future?
In the future, I'm looking to see a community that is well equipped, capacity well built, working collaboratively, and addressing the issues plaguing these communities as a group, really. Much more collaboration. I think that's the future. Together we can do much more, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and it just makes it better for our children as well. Dr. T, is there anything else you want to add? You know, how do people follow you? How did they get to know about your business? How did they book you? Because I know you're booked and busy. Even getting Dr. T today, I had to squeeze her in that time. So how do people find you and work with you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, first of all. Use my name to search. It's Thelma Okey-Adibe. Or they can go to our website. It's www.jezreelconsultancy.org. Again, if you go to the website, there's an online chat straight to my WhatsApp. So if you send me a WhatsApp message, I respond ASAP. I'm always willing to support community groups. Always willing to support community groups.
Thank you so much, Dr. T. And we look forward to the launch of the research on the 20th of October. And if you have any other question, follow us here on YouTube, on all our other channels, and connect with Dr. T. She's a global entrepreneur, so she's not just all about Scotland. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Vienna. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.